Daniel Branches is live for us in Washington. Daniel, we know that the U.S. Secretary of State will be attending the Libya talks in the Italian capital on Sunday. What's on his agenda?
There's a very clear and compelling reason why the US should be intensifying their own diplomatic support for these diplomatic efforts to bring these two sides together. And that is growing concern in Washington's security establishment about the fact that ISIL is growing in strength when the country is itself at war and taking advantage of the vacuum that's being created there. So America recognizes the very real need for the two parties to come together to create a unified state that then is capable of beginning to address the ISIL threat and in some ways reducing the capability of ISIL to create a stronghold from which they can organize their network in the region across North Africa and also potentially threaten Europe, given its proximity to Europe and given the fact that it's been able to hold territory there.
Daniel, external military intervention in Egypt has not found favor among regional and international powers. How then can the unity government proposed for Libya be enforced if it's agreed upon?
Well, I think that anything that happens now is going to be difficult to enforce. And I think that's why the UN and the US and others, the Italians, have been insisting that the kind of deal that's on the table is very inclusive. Because if you make a deal and you sign the documents and you have the photo call for the international media and then you go home and it's unenforceable on the ground because many of the parties are dissatisfied with that deal, then you have a recipe for further chaos even if there is stability for a few weeks. So I think what the international community wants to see from this is a sense of a really robust deal that includes many parts of Libya and finds a way to narrow the differences. And also, I think one of the wild cards here is the fact that some in the international community in the region have been lending their support to either side. So I think that's an added complication. But certainly, I think that if and when there is a deal, and if and when there is a unity government formed, that provides a platform for the future, because then a unity government can basically give the green light to the international community to come in and provide much more security support and begin to tackle this very pernicious threat that we are all faced with, and that is ISIL and its growing demands and its growing threat in this region.
All right, Daniel Branches live there in Washington.